Oh, wow. Welcome to the darkness. Just kidding. It's my room. I'm sitting on my bed writing to my bestie about the walk that I went on and such. I lost the feather, dude. I don't know what happened. Ugh. That's okay. There's gonna be more. Just, I understand that I have, some challenging thoughts that challenge status quo, and they might come off like opinions because that's what you're used to hearing, but they're not. Opinions, come from somebody else. None of mine do. That's a dead giveaway. They did not form from anyone else. They come from root cause analysis, which means I'm very good at asking questions to get to the bottom of something. Root cause. How do you get rid of weeds? Do you mow them? No, they will come back. You pull and make sure you get all the roots out. That's what I do. I don't have a left eye right now. There I am. Wow, cool, huh? I feel like Two-Face. I feel like, well, it's kind of like a campfire kind of thing, it's just like glowing. I think it's cool. But no, I legitimately do not have opinions. Plus, I like being wrong because it means that there's a bigger truth. The thing is, I just do that on my own. It's like, so, I get that some of the stuff that I say might sound threatening. Here's why it's not. I know what I'm talking about. I would not open my mouth if I didn't. I've already got a ton of videos already, but in one of them, I forgot already what I was going to say. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I was going to give an example, but it's moot. It's fine. I don't need it. Take, for example, my stance on Christianity in general. I could see why that might be threatening. And it is accurate, though. The safety and what we need to rely on and trust is the real priority. Because what I'm pointing out is no gods before me. Because the Catholic Church set the precedent. Or the original church. I don't know what it was called, but at some point, I don't pretend to know all of the history, but like just looking at it and really digging in, it is a tool for oppression. We live in a world now, especially with the internet, with surveillance, and it's so easy to find actual truth, facts, actual facts that support that. You got to think of the context as well. Context of the time always needs to be brought up because they did live in scarcity. If a person could gain an advantage to eat every day, that's massive. And it was kind of every man for themselves. And I'm not sure, specifics or anything like that, because it's actually very damning, very, it is blasphemy. It is actual literal blasphemy. No gods before me. Oh, wait a minute. I have a way to control people. Let's do it. Yeah, no. Indigenous peoples worked and coexisted. And that's kind of the claim for politics, too. I don't remember, they were called savages, but who's telling history? And why are we just taking it lying down? because the indigenous that I know, and I looked into a lot, numerous tribes, they coexist with nature, their ecosystem. They like to share. They figured it out. Cooperation, interdependence, not every man for himself, not the Wild West, not domination, not the love of winning, not the love of being right, not needing to have an opinion that can stifle life. You know, my video on getting rid of opinions, and it's kind of a follow up of that, I suppose, but you know, it is necessarily limiting, and that's why I have to challenge it, is because I refuse to impose any self-limits. That's how I've been able to, you know, do things that other people just took lying down as impossible. Well, it's not. That was complicated to figure out how we can get back to like simple living that everybody is craving, because we need it, because it's true. You know, it's actually true life. We're not living true life. This is oppression. And we have to stand up to it. We owe it to our founders here in America. We owe it to the indigenous that they tried to coexist with, and few people that thought they could get away with stuff and were able to. They just destroyed everything. They took peaceful coexistence and dominated. It's not okay. It's not okay. But yeah, I don't have time for opinions. Opinions are stifling. Opinions are limiting, and like I said, it's necessarily devaluing somebody else's experience. I care about people's experience, including mine. I count. I matter. In order to be a voice for the voiceless, I have to be able to speak up. And so if that has to start with me, you know, that's fine. I don't necessarily believe in self. I will eventually get on how to divorce your sense and concept of self. I don't have one. I identify as love. That's I preach that because I lived it first. Figured it out. Oh yeah, this is way better. This is a way better walk of life. By their fruits ye shall know them. Like, watch the video where I say fire your therapist. I'm not being ironic. That's not a joke. Therapy is stifling you. You are engaging in a system that is meant to continue to oppress you. You need to do it. What we're really doing is learning how to trust life, how to trust our brains, how to trust our bodies. And I repeat that a lot to myself, because coming from like, diagnosed with PTSD, I was robbed at gunpoint in 2012. Fucked up. So it was a... Anybody remember the 2012 bullshit and all the signs? Oh, December 21st, 2012, the world's gonna end. I got robbed at gunpoint in a bathroom in a coffee shop I was working at. Dude was smoking. That's how I knew. It was like, or girl, I didn't even know. Like, she had a mask, and I think it was a woman. It was weird. Kind of androgynous, I suppose, but in any case, the person was smoking. I guess I left the door unlocked, but it's fine. I noticed the smell of first, and then noticed the smoke drifting off in their fingers. I'm like, hey, you can't smell. Oh, you've got a gun. Okay, great. Well, there goes my night. You don't think clearly. You don't think clearly at all. To kind of put it full circle too, in one of my videos as well, the opinion one, I did the Moss Pat thing, and I said, ask me how I know. That's how I know. Everything. And I had weapons training, weapons defense, specifically for guns too. Had I had any wherewithal whatsoever, I could have disarmed that person, no problem at all. absolutely no problem, and there are a billion people that could attest to that. Like, no problem whatsoever. I could have disarmed him. I could have done whatever I wanted. I could have imposed my will way better than they. But that did not happen because that's how trauma works. I was fucked. I was gone. Like, it's such a sick feeling. Like, I can talk about it now, no problem. It was like the gravity is what I remember. I that's the only way I can really describe it. It just like sucked me in, and that was it. There's really nothing else I can compare it to. And you know, you just soapbox for 2 seconds. My former brother was a real tough guy, macho shit, and gun enthusiast and shit like that, and that's fine. But anytime anybody tries to talk a big game of like, oh, well, I would do that in this situation, I think to myself, you have no fucking clue what you're doing. You have no idea what you're talking about. I was at peak health. Like, martial arts, I went to the co-op like 4 days a week. I taught, I think I was an instructor at the time. So, 4 days at the co-op, I was an instructor. I did 2-3 hours on my own. I was going to the gym every day too. Like, I couldn't keep up. I was burning more calories than I could possibly eat. Like, I was peak. All gone. If I, in that state, in that condition, with that level of prowess, became that useless instantly because, and it could have just been unloaded. I had no idea. No idea. In most cases like that, it's just overpowering, right? It's just, I want to control the situation. I want money, and that's it. So I might not have even had an actual threat, but body doesn't know that. It saw a gun, and the experience took over. It was what it was, and I was abso-fucking-lutely useless. Had to walk through a door frame, like the doorway, usually only fit for one person at a time, but that's where they were. So I got to walk past them as their insanely threatening eyes were like, plus a gun this close to my face, basically. Think you can handle that, Michael Anthony Bernard? You are absolutely full of shit. You are chicken shit. You would not be able to fucking survive. Nobody would. If I in my condition at that point in time, like, you are absolutely full of it. Fuck off and die, dude. Any tough guy talker, like, go fuck yourself. You are full of shit. So that was that. I went to where the till was, where we hid it. Dude got away with less than an Xbox. Like, and thanks for ruining my Christmases going forward. Up until this last one where I got converted, and now I'm okay. It took that long. 12 years and 4 days. I didn't really think of that. I got help when I was in Seattle. So in like 2019, right before I moved back, that's when I got therapy, short-term exposure. It was imaginal, and it worked. Placebo works. Mind over matter. Walk on your own water, like I taught earlier. That was actually the only time therapy was effective. It was the only time I felt like I stood a chance, and it was good. It was. I needed it, and I probably needed it a lot earlier too, but I was also meditating for So I was good. I didn't even realize I had a problem really until I moved. But that's neither here nor there. I'm just, saying, like, you got to take context into account at some point. And so, ask me how I know. Well, I do by experience. So that left a massive scar. And I've got others as well. But you know, it's that's where I come from. That's my background and where the condition really comes from. I still um get what I call concrete snow pants, where my hips just lock up and there's not a fucking thing I can do. Cannabis is the only thing that loosens it up. I can't mind over matter it. Like, it's not something I can like access for the most part. Rarely. In some cases, um, with a reliance on what's coming through my chest, sometimes I can loosen it. But that's okay. You know, it's like I mentioned, it's a condition and I deal with it. But it no longer contributes to me thinking that I have less value than I did, which was the case for the entire time. The entire time, all 12 years and 4 days. And having that confirmed from other sources that I'm supposed to rely on, called family. That was what the confrontation videos were about. They don't give a shit. They never did. And if they did, they never showed it in a meaningful way. Like, I'm not worth a Google search to like learn how to communicate effectively, or I don't get it. I never will. You know, when I got back and you know, got us family therapy to learn to communicate and get on the same page together, and then you didn't take it seriously, still don't practice anything, don't give a shit about any words. Like, they don't choose words before they say them, they don't think before they speak. I can tell. I know the difference, and it is obvious. They do not make deliberate choices. They don't give a shit about their own experience or what they contribute to mine. I don't know about anybody else. They're probably like really eloquent with everybody else. I was tempted to, or well, I wasn't tempted. I thought about, you know, just standing outside my dad's door when he was on his sibling call, as he is on every Wednesday. Just to science it, just to A/B, you know, like how he was with me versus what he's like with his siblings, because it is night and day. And I will never know why. Like, it is specifically and just me. I'll never get it because it's not gettable. There's nothing to understand. There's nothing of value there. But, you know, that's just some context. I don't blame anybody, but I mean, it's like, if you're not going to put in like literally any effort to even understand anything or even pay attention, that's a choice. I've always ever just wanted to love life. And when I see people taking their gifts for granted and like killing themselves to life in general, it's so it is blasphemy. It is apostasy when you just abandon the important things and don't put in any effort whatsoever. For me, it's unforgivable. It literally is. So do not expect to be family again. You lost it. You chose to give it up, and you do not make any effort, and it's too late. You know, some things are just lost. You know, y'all can be fans, y'all can be followers or whatever, but like, we're not family, and as far as I'm concerned, we never were. And that is unbelievably hard to let go. That's really hard to get rid of, and well, not get rid of. I don't want to get rid of it. Why the fuck would I? You know, these people raised me. But I need right here and now. Always. You don't get to check out. You know, that's what I mean. You don't get to check out. You don't get to break promises to him. And you did. When every Sunday you hear, always remember him, keep his commandments, which he has given them, that they may always have his spirit to be with them. Amen. And then you eat that. I mean, you're literally taking the Lord's name in vain at that point. It's in the prayer, it's in the bread, and it's in you. You're taking the Lord's name in vain. There are so many different ways I can spell it. It has nothing to do with a word. You can say Jesus Christ. You can say Jesus fucking Christ. You can say, for fucking goddamn sake. You can say whatever the fuck you want. That's not a sin. Speech is not speech has never been a sin unless it is untrue and disrespectful, which they do all the fucking time. So pure apostasy, and I can't do that. I refuse. Like, as long as somebody is like making effort, and that is the difference, any effort at all, any, toward like what's actually meaningful, would make a difference, or would have. I'm not interested in making amends. I'm interested in like moving on. Change. Meaningful, beautiful change. That is it. Dead horses don't get to ride with me. Every time we try to talk, it's impossible. Because their words and actions are devaluing. They do they don't care at all about my experience in life. I wish I had spiritual friends, and honestly, Mormons would be an obvious ally. I should feel great being able to share like my strongest of testimonies about anything. I could deepen anybody's testimony about anything. And that kind of brings me back, right? So give you a little historical context, a little Atlas context, and now we're back, right? So, it's not that I'm calling out the church to destroy them. It's not persecution. It is accurate. Seriously, what prophecy has the Mormon church ever done? Actually done? Do you know what prophecy even means? They don't get to like commandeer words. They never use them accurately anyway. I noticed that a long time ago. Bearing testimony, I know the church is true. You can't know an opinion. You can't. Opinions aren't knowable. They're stances. They're not even. I believe in truth. You don't have to agree or you don't get to agree or disagree with truth. It's true. Is this wall pink? No. Well, I know this pink is it. No, look, facts matter. Take a class on epistemology and learn what the word knowledge actually means. That needs to be a thing. You can't know something that is not true. And the church isn't. Very telling of the control that they want you to give to them. No gods before me. That includes church. That is what I'm pointing out. That is what I am challenging. God is for everybody. It's truth, obviously. Love is for everybody. It's Christ. He's not your savior. He didn't save you from anything. You don't get to sin. You promise to not, and you get to keep that. See how that works? If you love me, obey me. That's what keep the commandments means. It's obedience. Do you know what obedience means? It means I say, you do. And when it is a trustworthy source, do it. If somebody is only honest and only willing to go in a beautiful, good direction, at the very least, you need to be curious. Because trying on hats, thought experiments, remember from the earlier video, yeah, it does not hurt. It's not an opinion. You need to try it on and see for yourself. Just like they were trying to do with missionary work. Hey, read this book, right? Why? What is so special about that book? I missed seeing my favorite band at the time, In Flames, to read it with some friends. We did. We just, it was actually kind of cool. Just hanging out with some buds and, waking up whenever and starting to read until we went to sleep. Literally. It took all weekend, and we almost got finished right before a fast and testimony meeting. I remember that. And I went home and finished it because we got to the endish of Ether. So I had basically that in Moroni. Did it, prayed, nothing. Like I mentioned in my video, that's way too much pressure on one book. I noticed a lot too of echolalia. You know what that means? It's sound like everybody else. Just say what everybody else is saying. Just follow along. You're obeying bullshit. You're not obeying him. That's the difference. He is who you want to love. He is who you want to follow, not church. They don't know what the word knowledge means. They don't know what the word prophecy means. It is patently false. You cannot rely on something that is false. You cannot know something that is false. Stop using words incorrectly. Learn what they mean and use them correctly. I want to believe that the church is true. That's accurate. That is a true statement. You can use that. It's respectful too. I wanted to too. I really did. It just isn't. You can't submit your will to a church. That is very, very, very dangerous. What you want to do is love him, obey him. When I say I hate scripture, I really do, because I see it as a tool of coercion instead of freedom. He is freedom. He is truth. He is love. If you love me, keep my commandments. Do you even know what they are? There's really only two that you need to know. There's an upper control limit and a lower control limit. Okay, 6 Sigma green belt. I really like efficiencies and processes. The lower control limit is known as the sin of omission. If you feel or understand the truth and you choose to disobey it, the prompting, denying the spirit, is also what it's known as. It's got a lot of different names. My favorite version actually comes from a quote by Edmund Burke. It's on a shirt that I've got, the Stronghold one. Stronghold Rescue and Relief. Really cool organization as far as I know. Very, very cool. But yeah, it's Edmund Burke quote. Very famous, very popular. Should be more. So this is kind of the worldly version of it. Again, truth recognizes truth. Okay. You need to be able to recognize it no matter what. Stop playing for your jersey. God is not a jersey, and that is a church. Church is jersey. You want the game. Love the game, not the jersey. Okay. Starting to get it? So, the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Good. I understand truth, and I am respectful. If you deny doing what truth requires you to do, what love or respect requires you to do in that moment, you are betraying it. That is the sin of omission, and it is worse than actually doing it. You hear the phrase insult to injury? That is the insult to injury. I can help, but I ain't gonna. I have able hands, but I don't know if I can because I wear this jersey. Yeah, not looking so great. Catholicism's way worse. If you think I hate the LDS church, I don't that much. I hate false prophecy, and I hate the misuse of words, and I hate the bastardization of taking no, don't give your will to him, give your will to church. See how they do that? Where in the Book of Mormon are his commandments? Is that in 3rd Nephi? I honestly don't know. But that's telling too. If you love him, you keep his commandments. It's supposed to be another testament of Jesus Christ, and that's great. Does it actually contain his words and commandments? I don't know. The main one is love one another even as I love. Perfectly. He does not love unconditionally. There's no such thing as unconditional love. That is bullshit. That is Wild West, every man for himself bullshit. Okay? Perfect love focuses on trust. Trust is the cup that holds love, just as 0 is the cup that holds infinity. Yeah, that's a cool thought too, huh? I like them. So, yeah, you focus on trust. That is your cup. Does it hold water? Is it reliable? Is your cup upright and grateful and receptive to truth and love? That's what you need to work on. You need to focus on him, not the church. Focus on the game, not the jersey. Because, like I said, Islam literally means submission to peace. Who's the prince of it? Yeah, dude. Doesn't matter how you get there. Literally doesn't. I've met way more Christ-like non-Christians than I have ever met actual Christians that call themselves such. Weird, huh? Very telling. I have not once met a repentant Mormon. Not a single one. Not okay. What happens when you betray trust? You own it. You're held to account. That's not after. There's no such thing as hereafter. After you die, you're fucked. You have to make amends while you're still alive. It matters here and now. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth. Leave it at that. We're supposed to bring it here and keep it here. Okay? I know this one's a little longer, but I think you agree is worth it. Because no, I respect people and I love him. Therefore, I obey him, and therefore I stand up and advocate for him. Are you starting to see that a little bit now? I hope so. And yeah, Catholicism's way worse because they set that standard of oppression. It's like, what, we can control them if we, sway the will a little bit. Don't focus on the jersey. We all love the game, and we all need it. So love as he loves perfectly. That's what I teach. That's the Atalassian oath. It's his teachings, but in very clear language that resonates right here and now. It's the exact same stuff, just said better, which I know sounds like blasphemy, but listen. Today is not 2,000 years ago. We have way better tools. It's the same simplicity. Just, yeah. Echo because, duh. Here's how to do it really, really well. This is the best that it can possibly be told right now. And maybe that's it. I really don't think there needs to be another prophet. I don't think there needs to be another calling like this because I think we can figure it out now. With surveillance, with phones being everywhere, with everybody being monitored and stuff, like, it's easy. Like, truth is so easy to validate. And that was the only problem growing, being in old times. That was it. If you couldn't, like, actually prove it, then anybody could get away with it, whatever they wanted. And now we just give it to them because of habit. That's what I see, and that's what I find so hard to shake people awake from. So if you're watching it this far, thank you so much. Thank you so much for trying on a different thought long enough to maybe let it absorb. Let the truth of it absorb. Otherwise, like, hot thoughts can't hurt you. I only want to help people free their minds so our hearts can be open and vibrant at the same time together. so we can all be edified, so we can all have that perfect love that he wants us to have. My testimony of Christ is seriously the strongest on planet Earth, possibly ever. It's I can bolster anybody's testimony. You want, like, pick a topic. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a threat. I am a thread. Okay? Okay. The nexus. I prefer that actually to profit, but I refuse to let that word profit go the way of the Charlie Chaplin mustache. I refuse. I'm going to claim it for myself. I'm going to take it back. That's what I do. You're misusing that word. I prove it. And, like, you know, the truth is freeing. Telling the truth, admitting the truth, living the truth, it is what sets us free. And that's why we need to be bold enough to hold each other accountable to actual truth. It's like, yeah, does the fact support that, really? So that's why I ask as many questions as I do. You know, it's to teach by example again, or to lead by example again. You know, this is the way to do it. You know, I mean, it's not necessarily even, I mean, they are challenges. Prove that you actually do have prophecy in that church, because you don't. And I've been around for less than 5 months. Solved one from the Old Testament, which is arguably the most important one ever. And now I'm starting to, like, get more like from personal. I kind of wish I recorded what I was able to connect earlier today about 3,000 stars. Nobody dies in vain, especially not him. And I am uncrucifying him too. Oof. And we got to give truth back to God, and we've got to give love back to the people. That includes you. So yeah, thank you so much for listening and giving it a try. I teach accountability, but also curiosity. We've forgotten how to be curious. I see that in my Sleepwalking Miracles. It's what I really, really want. But I refuse to say that brown is pink. I refuse to say that carpet is laminate. I refuse to say that water is wine. They're dead. They decided to be dead. They've forgotten how to be curious. I don't remember ever hearing them really laugh much. When was the last time Bill and Sherry actually, like, laughed? When was the last time they tried to, like, have an actual experience on purpose? They've been literally on autopilot Groundhog's Day since I fucking moved back. It's been 6 years. The same day. The same shit. It's not life. And it's destroyed us. It has completely destroyed us as a family, because he insists on being the leader or man of the house, but he does not make actual decisions. He hasn't for years. I don't remember the last actual decision he made. Like, this is what I want to experience, and I'm gonna do it. That's all I do. Like, you know, I make excellent decisions. You know, you might look at a few and raise an eyebrow, but if you understood what was actually going on, you know, why would I barricade myself in my room? Because he has guns. I am fucking terrified of guns. I can't stand them. If I have another experience like that, I don't want to be alive anymore. So, starting to make a little bit of sense now. I admit my fears. I admit that I'm a pussy about certain things. I can't do a lot of things that some other people can, and that has to be okay. I am human. I'm human first and foremost. I have needs that are not being met, and nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. And so, yeah, I mean, it was unsurvivable until it, like, the light flipped on. So, literally thank God for that. You get to know my name. You get to, have a chance at the beautiful things that I worked on in spite of wanting to exit life constantly for 5.5 years. I'm not even going to count before that because those thoughts did happen a lot and they freaked me out. Am I ever going to get my needs met? Am I ever going to be fulfilled? Am I ever going to have... I like life. Do you like me back, life? Check yes or no. Or leave me hanging. At least it's not literal. It was gonna be, I think it was like May 20th, 21st, 22nd. It was actually around this time of year. Yeah, 5 years ago. Walked out the door, I had a mic cable in my hand, and Sherry she was right there and she did absolutely nothing. I don't know. I don't know if there are cameras in the house that can show that day, but I don't know. It is a fact. She denies it because, I get it. It's hard to swallow. It's hard to puke up, but you gotta just the taste doesn't last forever. You know what I mean? Just get it over with and I would like to have something be accurate in my life. I need truth. I need love. And I don't have it. So, in any case, just a little bit of background and context that I guess needed to come out. I didn't anticipate it. I just wanted to I'm not safe sharing my spirituality in a country that says I have freedom of religion. That doesn't strike anybody as fucked up. I have world peace and prosperity. Nobody's even curious about that. Y'all love tragedy that much. Y'all love the Wild West that much. Every man for himself. Or oh, you need a job. We don't need world peace. Fuck you. Seriously, dude? You support slavery. I don't need a job is not a fucking need. You need me to be me. You need to pay a fucking attention and actually try the stuff before you're just gonna automatically dismiss it. What the fuck happened to curiosity of good things and beautiful things and meaningful things that can actually lead to unbelievably beautiful things, and the gift that keeps on giving? You don't know, and it doesn't get a chance because nobody gives a fuck, and that's just it. I can't make anybody care. I'm just honest. So, I get up and I love loud every day. It's on my walk. You see it seconds after I was really, really discouraged. It's I need a friend. Okay, I'll be one. Somebody else is hurting like this, but it's way worse because they don't have this. Let me do what I can to, be a hand that reaches back for anybody who wants to reach. So I'll just let this one be long, I'm allowed 1 or 2 long videos. I know I could split this, but I don't like to edit. I hate editing. A, because I'm not good at it. B, I don't want to learn about it. And C, it's just it's not my thing. I'm raw. I like to be raw with my stuff. It's actually more honest that way too, because it's like, okay, he actually legit does not edit at all. I just I let the heart speak. It's always honest. And I get that it is sometimes disrespectful, and you know what? I recognize that and I work on it, but for fuck's sake, like, reach back with good stuff. Nobody's putting anything good back. I have zero reciprocity for what I'm putting out, and what I'm putting out is fucking gold. So, you know, what would you do if you gave your actual best and you got everybody's actual worst of both worlds? Complete neglect and abuse. Tell me what you would do. I'm curious. I won't listen. I'll be honest about that. And yeah, it is refreshing to like hear somebody say, yeah, just don't want to fucking listen to you. I'm used to having abusive language coming in. I'm used to hurting whenever anybody speaks, and I don't get any love back. Like actual love. I expect perfect. Y'all claim to be disciples of Christ, and y'all don't. You do not obey him. You are punch drunk on church. You confuse church for God, and that is a sin because you are putting something else before God. It is impossible to say that you love God or that you are a disciple of Christ if you are unwilling to be dishonest about literally anything. You have to be perfectly honest. It is possible and it is mandatory. I mean, you don't get to agree or disagree with truth. I mean, why the fuck would you want to anyway? What the fuck is so good about agreeing or disagreeing? No, it's called life. I have an experience that is worth listening to. You have experience that is likely worth listening to. Together, we can do a lot more. Duh. Plus, my spiritual friends. Seriously, what do you want to know? I can help bolster any testimony on anything. Try me. That's what I was my last effort with Sherry was. She's like, look, I'm going to be straight with you. It's like, I have this enormous gift and nobody's fucking using it. You need to use it while it's still available. Why the fuck haven't you been since the first? I've needed you to. It would have been really good for you. It would have been really good for us. And now, frankly, I'm just doing it because it's my job. My calling is my job, right? So I'm willing to do it as a job, but like I have zero desire to have a relationship with anybody from my past. Zero of them. Y'all abandoned me. Y'all decided to kill yourselves in front of me. Not physically. Emotionally, yeah. Mentally, definitely. Yeah. Spiritually, I don't know if there was anything there in the first place. This is coming from a person who understands that we all come from the same source and we all have the same source material and we're better together. No matter what. Like, that's why opinions are so fucking toxic, So, yeah, I guess I should call it here. It's been almost, But yeah, try it. Try the gift. Try the Atlassian oath. And, eventually it does click. And it will bloom. And it will only get bigger. Sheesh. Can't believe this is me. Like, I literally can't believe sometimes how beautiful it is. After how dark it has been.
Especially just that contrast is so fucking mind-blowing. Yeah. I should be able to share this with everybody. I should be able to resonate with absolutely all walks of life. God is for everybody. It does not belong in church. Church is not God. And frankly, I don't know that it ever had. From what I see, it takes people away from God and away from Christ because you start giving your allegiance to church. I know the church is true. Why do you start there? I wonder. Why is that the like quintessential bear your testimony bullshit? I'd like to bear my testimony. I know this church is true. I know my parents love me and that I'll see them and they'll be a forever family. Name of Jesus Christ, amen. Echolalia is not it's not disciple. Echolalia is not love. Echolalia is not devotion. Echolalia is not wisdom. Echolalia is not God. It is not true. It is forfeiting your choice. It is using your agency to not do God's actual will. And that's why we don't have the kingdom. Cool, huh? Yeah, why? Weird choice. Weird use of it.